For the average Canadian household, day-to-day essentials make up over 70% of all of their non-housing monthly spending. This chart breaks down exactly where that money goes. We model a household budget of $32,400 a year. That spend falls into 5 highly predictable buckets: groceries, dining and coffee, gas, recurring bills, and a slice for uncategorized miscellaneous retail. Because managing that volume of transactions feels overwhelming, millions of consumers prioritize simplicity. They funnel every purchase through a single default debit account or a basic flat-rate cashback card. This side-by-side comparison shows the real cost of that simplicity. On the left is the low yield of a default single-card setup. On the right is the peak potential of an optimized wallet. The gap between those two bars is the focus of our mathematical breakdown today. We are going to prove why a multi-card strategy dominates and evaluate if the mental effort required to run it is actually worth the payout. Credit card optimization requires no complex spreadsheets, and you do not need a dozen cards weighing down your pocket. It is simply an algorithmic allocation exercise. If you learn the rules of where to route your purchases, you can capture nearly $900 in risk-free value every year. This evaluation matrix compares wallet strategies across rewards, fees, and net yield. Scenario A is a single 1.5% cashback card. It is convenient, but on a $32,000 budget, your net yield caps out at just $486. Scenario B attempts to fix this by relying on a single premium card, like the American Express Cobalt, which charges an annual fee but promises massive 5x multipliers on food and groceries. The problem is the network blind spot. Retailers dictate accepted networks. Loblaws strictly blocks Amex. This restriction forces chunks of grocery spending to a 1% base rate. Your net yield is penalized, stalling at $1,134. Now we look at Scenario C, the optimized 3-card wallet. We combine the Amex Cobalt, the Scotia Momentum Visa Infinite, and the Rogers Red World Elite MasterCard. This specific Trinity covers every network blind spot. You use the Amex at Sobeys or Metro. You use the Visa at Loblaws and for auto-paying your bills. You use the Rogers MasterCard at Costco and the gas pump. Every multiplier perfectly aligns with the stores that actually accept them. Even after factoring in multiple annual fees, the math peaks. Scenario C pushes your net yield to a maximum of $1,380. The numbers are absolutely clear. A 3-card wallet beats a 1-card wallet by over $890. To get it, you simply trade frictionless convenience for strict category management. That management requires understanding the invisible mechanics of how cards actually work. The single greatest leak in credit card rewards is the merchant category code. This flowchart traces a transaction. The issuer only reads the 4-digit code from the payment gateway. Buying food at a standard supermarket triggers code 5411, earning 5%. Buying identical groceries at Walmart logs as general merchandise, dropping rewards to 1%. The second major variable is the spending cap. Premium cards impose strict limits on their bonus categories to control how much they pay out. For example, the Amex Cobalt caps grocery bonuses at $2,500 a month. The second you cross that threshold, your yield on subsequent purchases instantly plummets to 1%. Navigating category codes and caps in your head is cumbersome. That is exactly why software tools are built to track this data for you automatically. If you don't actively track those codes and caps, the theoretical maximum yield of your premium card will degrade. Having a high-rate multi-card fallback is the only way to catch that spillover. This brings us to the central trade-off of personal finance. Are you willing to exchange mental bandwidth for financial yield? This split-screen scorecard maps that decision to your personality. You likely fit 2 profiles, the set-and-forget pragmatist or the algorithmic optimizer. The pragmatist despises tracking categories, matching networks to stores, or managing multiple billing cycles. If that is you, stick to a 2-card system. Hold 1 premium card tailored to your single highest spending category, and carry 1 free fallback card for everything else, accepting a lower yield for mental peace. The optimizer views daily routines as a strategic game. You spend heavily across diverse merchants, extracting every possible cent of value. Your next steps are concrete. Audit your past 90 days of statements, pinpointing top 3 categories. Verify which networks your grocers accept. Then build the full 3-card trinity. For an average household, taking the optimized path secures over $900 extra in net gains every year. That payout easily justifies the upfront cost of the annual fees. Ultimately, that $900 question requires self-awareness. Credit card optimization is highly profitable, but only if your financial habits align with the friction required to win the game.